Most relationship outcomes are decided long before the first major conflict appears. They are decided at the moment of selection, not because people choose badly in a moral sense, but because they choose without a system. Emotional attachment forms before evaluation occurs. By the time incompatibility becomes visible, the decision has already been made. What follows feels like relationship failure. In reality, it is selection failure revealing itself on schedule. Most people believe relationships fail because of what happens after commitment. They focus on communication, effort, emotional intelligence, and conflict resolution. These factors matter, but they operate downstream. They cannot correct errors made at selection. If two people are structurally incompatible, no amount of relational skill can produce a stable outcome. The mistake is assuming compatibility can be created after attachment forms. It cannot. In most modern dating environments, partner selection is driven by reaction rather than evaluation. Attraction appears, chemistry activates, interest escalates. Only afterward do people ask whether the partnership makes sense. This sequence is backward. By the time assessment begins, emotional investment has already compromised judgment. Chemistry overrides criteria because chemistry is fast and evaluation is slow. Dating systems reward speed. Apps, social environments, and cultural narratives prioritize immediate emotional response. Profiles are skimmed, conversations are optimized for charm. Encounters are judged by feeling rather than function. This structure makes rational assessment nearly impossible. People do not choose partners, they react to them. Most people enter dating without defined requirements. They know what they like. They do not know what they need. Without criteria, selection becomes passive. Whoever triggers attraction becomes the candidate. The emotional response replaces evidence. Strong feelings are interpreted as proof of compatibility. They are not. They are biochemical reactions to novelty and perceived availability. Emotional intensity creates false confidence. People assume that something feels right, that connection is deep, or that ease implies destiny. These conclusions are unsupported. Early emotional certainty has no correlation with long-term compatibility. It only indicates successful activation of attraction mechanisms. The system confuses signal strength with signal accuracy. Modern dating also compresses timelines. Social expectations push relationships forward based on emotional milestones. Exclusivity, cohabitation, commitment. These decisions often occur while both people are still operating under chemical amplification and best behavior presentation. Evaluation happens under artificial conditions. Real patterns emerge later, after comfort replaces performance. By then, exit is costly. Most relationship advice focuses on management rather than selection. People are taught how to communicate better, compromise, and resolve conflict. They are not taught how to evaluate compatibility before attachment forms. This creates a predictable outcome. People choose based on attraction, then spend years trying to manufacture alignment through effort. Effort becomes compensatory labor for structural mismatch. Scarcity thinking intensifies this pattern. People believe good partners are rare, opportunities are limited, and leaving means starting over. This creates pressure to make current relationships work regardless of compatibility. Fear overrides assessment. Incompatible matches are reframed as challenges rather than signals. When problems appear, they are interpreted as execution failures rather than selection errors. People assume the relationship just needs work, that every relationship has issues. That commitment means pushing through. These beliefs prevent recognition of fundamental mismatch. Not all problems are solvable. Some indicate that the system should never have been built. Emotional investment further distorts decision-making. The more time and energy invested, the harder it becomes to exit, even as evidence accumulates that the relationship does not function. People remain not because it works, but because leaving feels like admitting failure. The system rewards persistence even when persistence is irrational. Even people who understand compatibility struggle to select well. The structure works against them. Attraction triggers quickly. Evaluation requires distance. Distance is framed as disinterest. Dating systems penalize caution and reward emotional immediacy. Awareness alone cannot overcome these incentives. Contrast this with business partnerships. Businesses define criteria. They evaluate over time. They delay commitment. They test performance under real conditions. Romantic selection does the opposite. Commitment often precedes evidence. Evaluation happens after dependency forms. The difference in outcomes is predictable. Compatibility exists independent of effort. Two people either want similar lives, value similar outcomes, and operate through compatible processes, or they do not. These facts exist regardless of attraction, communication skill, or intention. No amount of trying changes them. The belief that any two people can make a relationship work is comforting and false. It places responsibility on individuals for outcomes governed by structure. It creates guilt where clarity should exist. Some systems are unworkable by design. Choosing an incompatible partner does not produce small problems. It produces recurring, unsolvable ones. Effort spikes, frustration grows, self-doubt increases. People begin to believe they are bad at relationships. They are not. They selected without evaluation. Effective selection feels less exciting than emotional attachment. It involves criteria, extended observation, and delayed commitment. Compared to intensity, this feels boring. That boredom is functional. Choosing well does not feel rewarding immediately. The system does not reward it early. Delayed reward is the point. Selection determines everything that follows. The same person can appear incompatible in an emotional-first system and highly compatible in a criteria-based one. The outcome is not fixed to the individual. It is produced by the selection structure. Most relationship problems are not management problems. They are selection problems that appear later. Once chosen, the system attempts to function. When it cannot, effort is blamed. The real error occurred earlier. This explains why good communicators still fail, caring people still separate, and the same patterns repeat across relationships. The same selection structure produces the same outcomes. Choosing a partner is the most important decision in a relationship. It is also the least systematized. People treat it as fate rather than engineering. The results reflect that approach. Relationships do not fail because people stop trying. They fail because the wrong system was chosen. No amount of effort can correct a selection error. No amount of love can override incompatible structure. Compatibility must exist before attachment, or it will be paid for later. The outcome was not mysterious. It was decided at the beginning.